So we're going to start today by priming our skin. My skin has been cleaned and moisturized, and I'm using my Clinique Moisture Surge to provide a primer. I have dry skin, so this makes an excellent primer for foundation. Where brands are specific in this tutorial, I will make sure and apply a text down below to let you know what I'm using. Unfortunately, there's some of these things that have been discontinued and may not be necessary to achieve this look. So if it's not necessary to use a specific brand, I'll let you know. And I'm applying my Clarins primer now just as a spot primer for specific textures in the skin to sort of smooth everything out. And the Lorac Behind the Scenes primer is an excellent primer for the eyes. You can also use your Urban Decay Primer Potion or whatever primer that you prefer, MAC Paint Pot, whatever. But this is just going to set the, or make the eyeshadow set. It's going to be a dark look, so we want to make sure we have plenty of a good base going. I'm using my original Naked palette for this. Now, this is not necessary, but I do feel that the colors in here are perfect for this sort of a look. But I'm using the brown tone there to fill my eyebrows. Not everyone's got the same eyebrow shade, so don't worry about the particular color in this case. Just fill your brows, make sure they're nice and dramatic. And I'm using sort of a nude matte shadow just to provide a base for the eyeshadows that we're going to be applying. And now I'm using a cream color base in black. This is NYX Black Bean, and I'm using that all over the lid. I'm going to be applying this sort of as the buildable color base for the darker portions of this. It's going to be very messy initially, but you'll notice that it starts to sort of blend itself out and look more dramatic and less messy as we go on with this. It will actually look messy up until close to the end. So we're just applying this all over with a brush. You can use your finger, but you want to make sure that you're sort of applying it a little thicker on the outside than the inside in sort of a wing formation. And I'm also going to apply it beneath the eyes with that same brush. So this is going to provide a base for all of our dark eyeshadows that we'll be applying later on. The next thing I'll be applying is the Naked color from the Urban Decay Naked palette, and I'm using that to blend. We're going to make this a transitional color, and it's going to help to blend in that cream color base really, really well. And it will also sort of make the smoky transition a lot more natural and a lot more smoky. So I'm using my blending brush to apply that color, and I'm using it all over. And you'll notice that already the blend has become pretty distinct. And now I'm using a dark red shadow. This is a Wet n Wild shadow that has been discontinued, so just find yourself a good dark red shadow or a blush that can double as an eyeshadow and apply that in your crease straight over that transition color you've already applied. Use a blending brush so it is more soft. And then you can also take a pencil brush and apply that red over the black that you've applied beneath your eyes. Be careful not to bring that too far in because you don't want the interior portion to look red. Can kind of make your eyes look tired, but the red does really provide a nice amount of drama. And I'm also going to apply some black shadow directly over that red, so it's sort of a lot of building of color and layers. And now I'm applying that dark charcoal color from the Naked palette. I think it's Dark Horse. I don't have it with me right now while I'm doing narration, so the darkest color. And apply that all over the lid and on and upwards and outwards, just like you see here. I'm using a stiff brush to apply the color initially, and then we'll go back and blend later. So just apply that and then blend and apply and blend and just keep doing that in layers. You'll notice that that is the key to getting a really, really dramatic but also very smoky eye. So already it's starting to blend out a little bit better. And now you're going to take that sort of metallic shade that's there on the end and just apply that with your soft blending brush over the lid. That's going to make the lids really, really look multifaceted and sort of pop. It also is going to bring a lot of attention to the eye area because you're going to be behind a veil, so you want to make sure that you're bringing as much attention to the eye as possible without blacking the eye too much. And I'm using a shimmery champagne shade at the inner corners to really draw attention and open up the eye. And just go back and blend as necessary. Now I've applied winged liner, and I'm correcting that. I didn't show that on camera because I just did a winged liner video, so just make sure you go back and check. And I actually winged these out in a double wing, so it's a little more bird-like. And now I'm applying mascara, and I will make sure and also use a pencil on my tight line and my waterline and apply some false lashes. So all of that I have tutorials for, that's why I kind of zoomed through it. But now we're going to the face, and I'm going with my Napoleon Purtis Matte China Doll Foundation. This is an excellent matte foundation. You want to go with matte for this particular look because the matte foundation is really going to make you look a little bit more, it's just going to lend to the drama and look really great on camera. And I'm just blending that all over with a nice fluffy blending brush, but one that's very nice and stiff, perfect for buffing in foundation. Next, you'll apply your highlight. No specifics here, just use a nice sheen highlight of your choice, and then a really, really nice berry colored blush right underneath the cheekbone. You want to make sure your cheekbones are somewhat defined for this look, and not too much color on the apples of the cheeks. And then I'm applying a deep red liquid lipstick. This is a discontinued Mary Kay shade, but there are many beautiful deep Merlot shades of liquid lipstick that would be perfect for this. And just make sure you apply that carefully. Finger pop so you don't get any on your teeth. And there you have it. Nice, dramatic, Gothic bridal makeup. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know if you have further requests for this series. We'll see you soon.